All right, so I just had a lot of coffee, and we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, dirty business of a deep cleaning on the trolley rebuild project that I'm been working on. So stay tuned. Here it comes. Hey, I'm Jamie, and today we're going to actually tear down the trolley just a little bit more. This is an older trolley. I think what I said, the mid-70s, late 70s it came from. Actually going to do a real deep cleaning on this guy. It's just a little bit dirtier than what I like it, but again, for his age, it's not bad. I guess, well, is it old as me now? Crap, I'll be 50 this year. So here we go. So we have the trolley. I broke it down. Not broke it, really broke it, but tore it down, and we have just a base left. I'm thinking this outside edge here comes off so we can actually get into it and actually clean the pickup guides. So I'm going to start, and this wire is actually, oh, there we go. Keep the light bulb, just kind of pull that out. It looks like it's glued in there. Anyway, the things that happen. There's a screw here that I think the side that holds the side covers on. And if I have the right bit on my screwdriver, we can get that off. I'm looking for a flat. Oh, here it is. First I was like, you're kidding me. There's not a flat in here. So it's a flat head screwdriver. I'm going to remove the screw here. And safekeeping, I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side in my storage box. Because that's all I need to do is lose the screw. Now, oh, look at that. It just lifts right on up. Good to know. So there's the side frame. And that gives us easy access into the pickup mechanism and the wheels. I like that. I'm going to set that off to the side. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is start with the wheels. Using the standard Q-tip and some 91% isopropyl alcohol. Squirt some in my container here, wet up the Q-tip, and I'm just going to go all around the wheel. It's kind of a gentle pressure. Let me get the screwdriver out of the way. And actually, I'm going to go all over in here on it because, again, it looks like it's either leaked oil or somebody put oil all in there. And you know how I feel about too much oil. It doesn't do you or the model any good at all. I'm going to do that to clean up. All right. Yeah, so as you can see here, let me make sure I got it up in my other camera. You can see how dirty that is. Let me go back and attack the wheel. And I'm just kind of pressing on it, providing some gentle, firm pressure. And I'm just going to repeat it on the other wheel. And since there's only one drive wheel, one pair of the front drives this, I can easily rotate the back wheel around. And I go ahead and clean it too because, you know what, it picks up electricity also. I think there was nothing more frustrating as a kid to have dirty pickups on your train and it would just kind of stop and you can never get it back going right until you gave it a push and gave it a good cleaning. All right, got that, yeah. You can see that, it's pretty good. I'm going to repeat that also on the other side. And right now I'm just cleaning the tops and around the wheels, basically where it makes contact with the tracks. That's good. All right, that looks good. So it's cleaned the wheels. So if you notice here, there's the pickup strip. The pickup strip, it's a good one. And it's under the wheels, so it actually kind of bowls up a little bit and makes contact with the wheels. That's how it picks up power, transfers power from the tracks to the wheels to the pickup bar, which then goes into the motor. So I want to get kind of behind there and clean it out. So I'm going to use, and don't ask me where I found these somewhere, and I'm going to have to look. You can probably find them online. They're almost like Q-tips, but they're like little squirry things. They're at a point. And I think originally you're supposed to use them to clean your airbrush, but since they're pointed, again, I can dip it in alcohol, and with a little bit of luck, I can actually get it under. There we go. The pickup bar. Oh yeah. You can see what I do and how I have it in there. I actually have it under the wheel, and you can always see the gunk that's coming out of that. I'm just going to wipe it off and actually reuse it. I'm going to repeat the process for this other wheel. Mainly I want to get under the bar itself, because that's where the most of the dirt is going to collect. Turn it over to this side. Keep getting some good stuff off of this. And again, I'm just trying to get under the wheels. Not too much pressure there. I mainly want to concentrate on getting the bar done, because we're going to come back and clean the back of the wheels in just a second. And I'm just reusing the same thing and just wiping it off on my paper towel. All right, and the last one. Yeah, you can actually see it when I press down. On the pickup strip, pickup bar, we just call it the pickups. On the electrical pickup, I guess is the technically name for that. There's no way I could show this in the camera, but if I press down on it, because it's here and the wheel's here, it's brushing up against it. So when I press down, you can see all the gunk that's collected on top of that pickup. And well, as you can see here, it's pretty dirty. All right, there we go. Now the thing I want to do now is come back and clean the back of those wheels. Put a little bit more rubbing alcohol. Here's a clean Q-tip. I'm going to start with the back ones because they're easy to rotate. And all I'm going to do is go in to the very back of these wheels. And since the backs rotate, I'm just going to turn them around. There we got some good stuff off of that one. I'm just going to turn this that way and do the same one for the back. There we go. Now I'm going to come up to the front. And again, since this is a screw gear or warm gear system, you're not going to be able to rotate these front wheels directly. We're going to have to rotate the motor to get them to move. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the exposed side. I'm going to get a new Q-tip here. Dip it in. And I'm going to take with my other finger here and try to rotate the motor. Well, there we go. What I'm going to do is put my finger on the motor shaft, and I should be able to, it's not cooperating with me. Actually, if you look on the front of the motor shaft here, there's a place where we can probably fit our screwdriver in. That will allow me to easy to rotate it. There we go. We can get to some more surface area here. Come back and repeat the process. Let's see, can we see this? I need to come up with a little bit better camera setup. I think eventually I would like to have a camera over me that points down. So, rotate the wheels a little bit more. Here's a little bit more. You actually have to turn it more than what you think. This gear system is actually a reducer, so I don't know what the ratio is. All right, that looks good. I'm just gonna, while I've got it here, I'm just gonna take the Q-tip over the rest of it and just wipe off any more oil and gunk that I can get my Q-tip into. All right, and then the last piece, I'm just checking to make sure that the pickups there's no dirt on them. Oh, yep, that looks good. So, the one other thing I would like to do, and I usually don't do this, but I'm not 100% what type of oil they use down in these gears. I feel quite confident that I can do this without messing anything up. I'm just going to put a squirt or two of rubbing alcohol in there just to get any of that out. You want to make sure also you don't leave any of the Q-tip behind, the fibers from it. Yep. And as you see, the alcohol actually kind of leaked out through there, which is what I wanted. That just kind of helps to flush out some of the older stuff. There we go. Don't want to leave that behind. And while we wait for that to dry, the one final piece I want to make sure I get it in clean, and why I like these things. So this is kind of a, I want to say open frame motor is not really the correct word, but you can see the motor pickups inside of here. So a lot of people would say, oh, oil that. Well, you don't want to do that. Since this is open, it does collect dirt, and I'm just, again, stuck my Q-tip into the rubbing alcohol, and I'm just going to kind of stick it in there and repeat the same process of just kind of rotating it. If I can get it to line up. Yeah, and I'll tell you why in a minute, why you don't want to oil your pickup brushes. There we go. Again, you kind of see what gunk is coming out of there. Actually, while I'm in there, I can kind of flick it, and that gets it too. Yeah. All right, I think that's going to be good enough for inside of there. So a lot of people will say, oh, use deoxit inside of there. Don't put oil inside of your motor, especially where the, I can't think of the engineering technical term for it now, but you have your motor and it's basically this copper plates, depending on how the motor is configured. And on each side of that you have your set of brushes, positive, negative, whatever. It takes power and puts it into the motor. So if you lubricate it, the oil will actually form a film on top of the copper, which some people is like, oh, well, that's what you wanted to do. Yes, but what happens to that is the brushes actually lose their effective transfer ability, I guess is a good way. The power is not easily transferred to the motor, and you end up with some problems with it. It's like having dirty wheels on your track. So you don't want to do it. The motors are really designed not to put oil inside of it. So the brushes are usually made of some kind of soft ferrous material, and you know, over time you're going to have to replace the brushes anyway. But lubricating them is not going to extend their life and actually cause more problems than what it's worth. So on this one, I mean, the brushes I can tell here look great. The copper, I mean, yeah, the motor rotates. It's just going to wear out over time. Lubricating is not going to extend the life. If anything, it does the complete opposite of it. So we clean that up. And most of the motors nowadays are fully encased anyway, so you can't even get in there to do this. I don't know if that holds true for the N scale or not. I actually have one here maybe to break down later, but we've cleaned up the engine. We got rid of all the excess grease that's on the outside of it. Now we're going to come back and start the oiling process. Let's see. I'm going to actually keep these and reuse them. So I'm going to start with the back of the wheels for the pickup, and I'm using my thing I really like. I think it's called deoxit. A lot of people use it. Again, I like it just because it works. I get no kickbacks from the company on it. A bottle like this will last you forever. I actually have the smaller ones. You can buy little small bottles like this. Amazon, hobby stores sometimes have them, but the best thing ever, it actually cleans and kind of lubricates, and it's made for electrical contacts. So we can actually apply this on the back of the wheels. And again, not much. And I'm going to try to get it under the pickup bar. Oh yeah, maybe a little bit too much on that one. And apply it. And again, just kind of get under there, get under the pickup. Oh, there goes that brush. We can put that back on there. There we go. All right, do the same thing for my front wheels here. Actually, there's the tip that went off, but that's okay. You know, this is actually the perfect thing to get under. Actually, that actually worked out very well. Yeah, so what happened is actually the foam tip on the brush actually came off, and it left me this little plastic chisel thing that's very thin, and actually it's working a lot better to actually get under these front wheels that's not easily moved. And I say working a lot better actually getting out the gunk. Oh wow, I like that. Perfecto. And since I'm going to be lazy and I don't want to get up and get another brush, I'm just going to put a small drop and then use the plastic to move it and make sure it's all around the back of that wheel. Oh, wow. All right, I feel good about that one. I'm just going to repeat it, and it's not even a drop, like a dab. Put it on the wheel there, and I'm just going to rub it back and forth and get it all up into it. And again, just kind of turn the motor. There we go. I may come back and spend a little bit more time picking under it just to make sure I get everything out. So we're done with that. Last thing I'm going to do is come back with the LaBelle 102. I'm not going to say last thing because we know how that works. I'm just going to put a small drop on top of the motor. Excuse me, not on top of the motor, but in the main warm gear right here where you can see where I'm plating. Not even a drop, just a small tab. And I'm going to come down inside here and do a very similar one. And then just rotate it to make sure it all distributes throughout the gears. And the thing about oil is it actually kind of follow and spread out. If you go to some event, auto parts store, there you can see like a little mechanism up there where you can turn the crank and you can see the gears inside, and it picks up the oil from the bottom and the oil goes all the way through. Oil is very, very sticky that way. And you don't need to put a lot on there to make sure everything's covered. It's mainly you just kind of need it really to top, and it will kind of travel its way down. You just want to make sure you rotate it to make sure it does spread evenly. All right. And the last thing, which is I've been doing lately, is using the LaBelle 106 grease. And again, a very small dab. I'm going to come inside to the gear where that meets the black warm gear, and like just a dab. And I was going to take that, again, rotate it. You can actually see where it kind of came out already. And take another of my thing here and just kind of pick that up and port it towards the back here on this warm gear. And put some down in here. And again, you can kind of see how it spreads out when you start turning it. All right, that looks like that's got some good coverage on it. Let's just see, out of curiosity, how much it improved the pickup on this train. Let me get this out of the way. Let me get my test track. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, so I should have got this out sooner, but oh well. So I have my trolley chassis on the test track, and I'm going to power it up, give it some voltage here. So we're at 5 volts. I don't expect it to move any. 12 volts. Oh, why? Oh, there we go. Oh, it's not sitting right on the test track. And that's a little bit too fast. So I'm kind of curious. Yeah, there's not enough weight, which is why, again, your engines have weights in them to make them heavier. So this is pretty lightweight, and there's not enough force to actually hold these things down to the test track. I don't know if I like or hate this thing yet, but if I hold down the train engine so the track can actually make contact, it will work. So I'm at 10 volts, and it's around 150 milliamps. I don't think I actually will run it at 12 volts. But 12 volts is around 180 milliamps. I don't know, this is a little bit different motor than what I'm used to in the other engines. Usually my other engines I work with, the motors draw around 150 milliamps. Could be just, well, this is not a 5-pole motor that's in it, it's a 3-pole motor. I think it probably has a lot to do with it. But as we run it, it actually kind of starts getting a little bit better. And usually the older these things, you do have to kind of run it to make sure everything kind of seeps in its place and gets undirtified. So cool. I like that. It seems to be running right. We actually got the grease and oil distributed inside the gear system. I'm just going to take my Q-tip one last time. We got some oil up on top here. And just do a little wipe down. And what will happen is, as we move along with it, and as I get ready to, as I finish up painting it and put it back together, we'll actually do another cleaning on the wheels of it on the track to make sure we get all the gunk and everything out of it. Even as you're building it, you're going to get a little bit of gunk in there. But so far, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. And I'm just going to come up under the wheels again and clean up a little bit more off camera, just because I do see a little bit more gunk. It's kind of kicked at some stuff under the wheels, which is normal. So you may have to do something like this a few times, depending on how old the model is. Again, the person that did this put too much oil on there. That's also a contributing factor. But overall, I think it's a good lubrication job on this one. And we're going to move on in the next series, next part. And I don't know why I say this and actually say, oh, in the next part I'm going to do this, when actually I never do pretty much anything I'm saying I'm going to do. But I'm pretty confident on this one that I'm going to go ahead and design and 3D print the pieces that's going to go on the chassis, the front brush guard, cow catcher, whatever you want to call it, the thing that, in case people fall into a train, it pushes them out of the way. And I'm going to make a little 3D printed piece in the back of it that's going to fill a little gap. And we'll put this on the chassis and get this back assembled. And then we also have painting to do and the lights. There's a lot of stuff. This little project's actually turning into kind of a big project. But isn't that how it always works? So as we move along, I appreciate everybody that watches. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And you know, what have you found that works best in, you know, lubricating your model engines, especially older engines? Seems to be the problem with more gunk that builds up over time. Even when they're sitting there, it collects dust. So I'm kind of curious, what are your techniques? If you drop them in the comments, we'd love to hear from you. And that's it. Until next time, I appreciate everybody, and I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.